Okay, this is the seventh and the last video segment on parametrizing assemblies. I'm going to be repeating exactly the problem that you have here, which was I think number 6, except that by using the copy and paste special approach, I'm going to save a few steps. Not a big deal, but it's a very powerful. This business of copy and paste special is a very powerful tool. Okay, so let's go ahead and make exactly the same part that we made before, namely the yellow one. Actually, I can bring it up, but I will do it again. So insert a new part in there, and I'm going to call this thing yellow. Properties yellow and yellow. Let's make it on a convenient plane, on that vertical plane. I will sketch that same drawing that you saw before, namely something that looks like this, like so, and there we are. Okay, so I mentioned these things, so I believe this angle of this thing was alpha or beta, and this dimension was what we call W later on, and the dimension from here to there, but the vertical dimension is what we call H later on. Exit, and let's shaft this thing 90 degrees. You don't need more than 90. Yeah, 90 degrees, and let me see the direction Z. Yep. Okay, let's also change the color of this so that it's consistent with the name that we gave it. It's not really necessary, but that's fine. Yellow. Okay, now notice that we did create this sketch here, which we're going to use in a minute. So let's go back there. Insert a new part. We'll call this thing the cube. So what I called it before, properties cube and cube. Okay. And let me go ahead and make it. So on a convenient plane, on that horizontal plane, I will sketch. The rectangle. And let me dimension these because eventually these things are going to be L and L. So this is going to be L. And this also is going to be L later on. Exit. And pad it. Okay, so it really doesn't matter what direction, so let me okay, good. Okay, very good. Alright, so I'm going to copy the sketch and I'm going to go to this part body right here or there, do a special paste and say as a result with link. Okay, so there we are. We cannot change the sketch tool from here. We can go and change it in the original sketch and everything, resize it. But it is sitting there. As a matter of fact, if I say right click, show it to me, it's right there. You can see that. In fact, if I hide the yellow thing, that is sitting there. The only thing is that I want to change the the support of the sketch. Right now it is sitting there. So I go here, right click, change the sketch support. And now there are different ways of doing it because I want to position it very nicely here. So let me go ahead and position. This is the reference plane. The origin, I want it to be right there. Okay. Actually, I want to move this thing further down. So I want to move this thing down. So we'll have to fix that. So the origin is okay. So this is good, but I would like this thing to move down here. Okay. So see, right now it is there, except that I want this thing to go further down. But one way to have that thing fixed is all right. Unfortunately, when I made it there, I did not put it at the right spot. So let me go back to that sketch. This is the sketch, the original sketch that I did. So I'm going to bring this and put it there. Okay, so this point, control that line. Let's see if we can make it coincident. I'm not sure where I am right now. Oops, where am I? Find and show. Okay, there we are. That's what I wanted. So this point, I have a feeling that this is completely constrained. This is why. No, under constraint. So that's good. Close. Okay, so I should be able to move this thing and put it down there. So let's see now. That point, control this line. You should be able to bring it down and make it coincident. There we are. Exit. The same thing should happen because this is copy paste special. Probably the same thing will happen here. So let's bring the block there. And this sketch, see that? It's not at the right spot, but if I go there and double click and probably update, it should go down. There we are. Excellent. Okay, so why did I do that? Because I want to make a cutout here. Let's see now, shaft, not shaft, groove. What is it? Groove, groove. Sure, this is a sketch. And Z-axis. Oh, no, that doesn't look very good. Preview. Ooh, wrong spot. I mean, it's probably, yeah, the axis of it is doing a groove about the wrong axis. Okay, so let me undo this. Go back to that sketch. Okay, so let's go back here, groove. The sketch is already selected. The axis is this line there. Excellent. Okay, so let's go up here, put the assembly constraints. Notice that I don't have to put any dimension on this groove because it's all coming from that copy special paste there. So what we can do, first of all, we can assemble this thing, or we can do that later. It's all right. So let's go ahead and create our parameters. So we go here, new parameter. We need W. Let's give it the value 1. We need an H. Let's also give it the value 1. And we need an L, which is the length of the cube or the size of the cube. Let me make it 5. Apply. Now we need an angle. So type is angle. Let's call it beta. And I'll make it for now 45 degrees. Apply. Okay, now I'm going to click on the cube because these sizes are all equal to L. So this is that size is add a formula equal to L. Takes care of this. This size add a formula equal to L. The padded length, which is right here, add a formula equal to L. Okay, now let's worry about this yellow piece. So I'm going to click on that. This is H, add a formula equal to H. This is W, add a formula W. And this angle is our beta. This angle, add a formula equal to beta. All right, so let's actually check this. Let me move these a little bit apart in the y direction. Translate this in the y direction and apply. I'm going to put the constraints in a minute right there. See this? Based on the parameters that I have, parameter values that I have, this is how they look like. So if I change, for example, L to 0.5, the yellow part becomes shorter, but it will not affect the gray part, obviously. If I take L is the size of the box, so maybe 4. Apply. There we are. Angle beta, let's go to 25 degrees, 20 degrees. Now both parts are going to be affected. There we are. You can see that. And finally, L is the, well, H is the height of that this triangular piece. So if I make it 5, there we are. Okay. Now this was too much because this is 5 and L is 4. That's why it looked like that. So make L, I don't know, 6. Oops, not 66. 6, and that'll take care of this. Okay. Obviously, you need assembly constraints on the test. If you're asked to also impose the assembly constraint, then you have to do it. You have no choice. So, for example, let's make this coincident with that, and coincidence this edge or this face with that face, and coincidence between, where are we? For example, this point, coincidence this point and that point. Yeah, so a few steps are saved, but the business of copy and paste special is a very powerful tool that can be used for other purposes.